All right.
Welcome to the Christopher Jimenez Show. This will be episode number 6, and I'm joined here by Mr. Glenn Craig, who is involved with the Miami Youth for Christ. Now, as you know, I will be running in the 5K that they're sponsoring this weekend at the Miami Metro Zoo, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about the ministry. So, thank you for joining me, Mr. Craig.
You're more than welcome.
All right, Glenn. Now let's start off with getting a little bit of background about you here. What capacities do you currently work or maintain for Youth for Christ?
Okay. I wear 2 different hats. I'm director of the Juvenile Justice Outreach. So we minister to abused, abandoned, at-risk, arrested kids that are in residential locations. So that's basically what I've been doing for the last 30 years. That's how long I've been involved in Youth for Christ. And I still enjoy the challenge of doing that. Also, too, I'm the CFO, head of the finances there at Youth for Christ. And I don't do the day-to-day recordings and everything, but I just monitor our financial situation. So those 2 duties, being the Director of Juvenile Justice and the CFO, keep me busy.
Okay, so you said you've been there for 30 years?
30 years. I started 30 years ago in July.
Okay, where did you start off?
Actually, it's amazing. I first started with working with a gentleman called Gary Brown, and it was kind of they called it a youth guidance program, when we took some kids. I started volunteering, and then I started working with and assisting him, and we had a small group of kids, actually, where they were from the Mariel boatless, most of them, and there was more preventative programs. So started working with a few small groups, and then the year after that, I was challenged about the detention center and maybe becoming director of the juvenile justice. So, and I've run, the last 30 years in doing that.
And what is the core mission of Youth for Christ?
Well, our core mission is, we have a mission statement. It's really to share the life-changing message of Jesus Christ with every young person that's within our county. It's a tremendous task, but it's to get people involved that will help us and volunteer. But we just our ministry is holistic, but we zero in. We realize how important it is that relationship with Jesus Christ and how it can make a difference in young people's lives.
Of course. And you've already mentioned the juvenile justice program, but what other programs do you guys have that go out and try to accomplish this mission?
Okay, we have different outreaches. We call them outreaches. We have Campus Life. It's within different schools. So we have it's a kind of a holistic type of approach, building relationship with kids, on really non-church kids. That's who we focus on. And so we have that occurring. We also have what we call City Life, or neighborhood outreach. And these are one of our major programs is down the Homestead. We work with kids that are in the neighborhoods and they're disadvantaged and troubled. And so we have after-school programs, tutoring, different things for them. We also have a whole ministry to the hip-hop culture. It's just it's how do you reach kids in different cultures? So we have a whole model, and we make it attractive so that they'll come in, and from there we build relationships with them. Let me see. So, and then we have a new program called Miley. Miley, he's probably looking from Virgin. We're training different youth leaders weekly, and how to be more creative and how to reach more kids. So, we have a number of outreaches.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm sure over the past 30 years you've had plenty of great experiences with Youth for Christ, and I was just wondering, what would you say is one of your most rewarding experiences you've ever had?
Well,
and I understand you have a lot to pick from.
Many situations, Maybe I'll just share a few things. I think there's nothing more rewarding than sitting down with a kid at the juvenile detention center, and you just see the hopelessness or the decisions that they've made in their life that have caused them a lot of pain and struggling, and you're able to share that what they need is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and then for them to understand that and to take hold of it and start a relationship. It never gets old. So I have a lot of opportunities there. And then I guess you're talking about a long, a relationship that's lasted a long period of time. There's a young man called Richard. I've known him for 25 years. And that whole relationship, I won't go into detail, but it had its ups and downs. But I met him at 14, he's 39. He truly made a decision for Christ when he was in his teens. He drifted away. He had some time in prison. But I see him taking hold, going to school now, and he's out of prison. But so that's...
It's all about building that genuine relationship.
Well, that's the key. Okay, that is a key of building relationships with these kids. And, it's amazing. They may drift, but you know what? At a few years, they're knocking at your door.
Wow. So when it comes to running an effective ministry or youth ministry, what would you say is one of the most crucial elements to finding a leader?
Okay, I would look at somebody that I believe that had a real genuine relationship with Jesus Christ, and I would want to make sure that it was an intimate relationship they had, not just knowing about him, but a daily, ongoing relationship. So that would be very vital. And then the next thing is to see if that person, how he is with people. And again, one of the keys in being a leader is he able to build a relationship with people that he's leading, and that is so key. So those are two very important things when I consider a leader.
Throughout your time in youth ministry or ministry in general, in general. Let me learn to speak here.
It's okay. You do well.
Have you ever experienced discouragement? And if so, how do you deal with that discouragement? And is there like a special verse to go to? There's been moments. There's moments when you're just totally excited and a lot of positive things are happening, but there are moments of discouragement. What do you do with them? I try to. I have a number of things. I try to refocus and look at a bigger picture. As to, say, it's a kid that I'm disappointed. It's not the end of their story. Also, too, I have a number of people that I talk to that are involved in ministry, and we encourage and talk to one another, and we can share our discouraging moments with them. They'll pray for us. And something that I try to do is, in times of discouragement, is look at a verse. It's a kind of a key verse, a life verse for me. It's Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I'll help you, strengthen you, uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. So I look to that verse for in times that I'm discouraged about other people, and maybe I'm discouraged about my own life and some choices I've made. So that's a key verse for me. Yeah. Now, talking about the ministry itself, have you ever been forced to change your methods due to cultural changes over the years? And could you provide an example, perhaps, of involving methods while remaining true to the YFC mission?
Right. We have a statement that we at Youth of Christ, and it says, "Geared to the rock, but anchored to the rock." Excuse me. Anchored to the rock, geared to the times.
Anchored to the rock, geared to the times.
That's it. And so it's basically, we never. We believe the Word of God is the truth, and we don't want to sway. It is the truth, but sometimes, times changes and the approaches of reaching people are kind of different. Like I explained the hip-hop culture, definitely it is a way. A lot of these young people would never come into a church, sit down for a meeting or a service, but something like an outreach, they may come in, be attracted to the approach, and then at that time when they come in time, relationships are built, and we at that time share how important a relationship with Jesus Christ is.
All right, excellent. Well, let's turn our focus now to this weekend, the Weld Walk, which is coming up this weekend, November 10th.
Right.
And how long has this event been done?
This is our third year.
It's your third year.
Yeah, so we look forward to it.
And what should people expect to experience at the event?
Well, it's a really fun time when you there's music, there's excitement. They serve a breakfast, so everybody's there getting prepared.
Because it starts at 8 a.m., right?
About 8 a.m. Yes, there, and there's a small breakfast, and then it's around the zoo. It's a 5K, so it's a walk. It's really not a run, but so you can go as you want, as fast or as slow as you want. So it's just a lot of fun time. The weather is great. It is a fundraiser for Youth for Christ, so it really helps us in raising funds for our program so we can reach more kids. That's the key. We want to reach more kids with the good news. But if you haven't been there, I really would encourage you to come and
you can register at the time of the event.
You can register at the time of the event.
Okay.
So you come and we're all ready for a big day on Saturday.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me on the program.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Great talking to you, and thank you all for listening.